All the protection and breathing space. Yes, that was the invitation of the chairman. Gentlemen, ladies, first of all, I should say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you today.
Amanda! Say you. Daniel of Salo County, Bible speak your Say you. Salo County, Papa, Bible speak your Say you. For the time you enter the county, Ginger went all over your country. Say you. Amanda, 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 and you stand on our book, I don't know it. Because I want to go out the Speak on her.
I like the word intellectualism. You see, the reason that I'm touring the intellectual is because it is believed it houses intellectuals. My fight that I am fighting is to first of all meet you first, present it to you as intellectuals, and then give you I will give you enough time to think about what I have to say. I have decided to embark on this endeavor simply because over the years, I've had several experiences that I can tell you have built me enough to face the truth, the hard truth. And I've come to speak to you based on experience. Not because I'm a senator, but I walked my way to reach to being a senator. And over the years, I have learned based on experience and age. This one I'm about to share with you. I traveled out of here during the 1990 war, the very 1990, went to Ghana as refugee, stayed in Ghana until 1997, and then the opportunity was given to me to travel abroad. I left from here as a high school graduate, even though after high school,
Please get in. Please get in. Please get in.
Senator, I want to applaud you because you are a pilot. Steady. Now, but you never move. Everybody was running, but you were still steady. I like that.
Let us have it quiet that the singer can continue. Please let us have it quiet. Like we said, we expect us to behave as, I don't want to use the word like, as intellectuals. The situation out there has been resolved. We still have our guests on the floor for which we say we're going to protect him, we're going to respect him. So let respect him and go about with the exposing things.
So the reason I'm telling you this is to give you the confidence of the experience, so that you can't think I'm just wasting your time. And so that is not much of an importance. But I want to establish the fact that as I left from here, went all of those things, went to school, got the so-called master that everybody, master, but nothing changes. Came back, went through the ranks, serving Ellen Johnson's office, in the office of the Martina Research office at the time. She was who was she at the time? Director of the cabinet. And I served in the office as one of the analysts, senior analysts for 6 months. And then from there, I established my own insurance company, which still runs today, called the Capital Express. And then from there, I was called to the Central Bank to work, where I worked up to being the chief of staff of that bank for about 7 years. And then after that, I ran to be representative in my district, inside the capital city, Greenville district. And then from there, the people of Sando saw a fit to make me the senator. So what I have come today to tell you is the hard truth. I haven't come to tell you anything to make you happy or to support your party or to be one of those that will encourage you to be to where you are. The only thing I have come to tell you is the hard truth. And I don't expect you to like it. We are in a situation as African, black, that we have been placed never to like ourselves, never to like our black skin. As a matter of fact, we have been taught that everything that is black is evil. Everything that is black is devilish. Everything that is black is wrong. But everything that is white is godly, angel, purity. And this is what we believe. So we don't like ourselves. As a matter of fact, we have been made over centuries to hate ourselves. Regardless of whatever a black man does, it will never be pleasing to me. The only thing you will want is to always castigate him, bring him down. But if a white man walks in here, your eyeball will never leave his skin. That's how bad the psychology has now taken us to. And so there have been several researches. Maybe I didn't tell you that I'm also a teacher. I've taught UMU for 3 years. And I taught quantitative master's program for 5 years. So I'm bringing all of these for you to understand who's standing before you. Our country and our suffering that we have been going through or we continue to go through, all of us has placed it under the concept of corruption. And so we all believe corruption is the cause of our suffering. Whoever senator, whoever representative, whoever minister, everybody in this country is corrupt. So that is responsible for our suffering. That is why you need to believe as a black man. I've come to tell you today, corruption in our country constitutes 20% of our suffering. Yeah. Corruption is responsible for 20% of the reasons why we are suffering. Our real suffering is that corruption. 80% of why we are suffering is based on the psychology of the white man. The psychology. They never bring real handkerchief for me. I forgot my handkerchief. I said, family, what do you go bring that one? 80% of our suffering is on the psychology of how we as black are being treated. And we don't pay attention to it. The only thing we pay attention is to our leaders, how corrupt they are that are responsible for our poor thing, how poor we are. That is the bottom line. The most corrupt people that makes us to suffer are not the leaders. Yes, the leaders are responsible because they cannot make decisions. They are afraid. They are afraid to look in the eyes of the exploiters to tell them you are exploiting our country and what you are doing is keeping our people poor. We cannot continue to go down the road that we are going. We have to change. We don't have the vibe to do it. We don't have the face to do it. Because the psychology of it has made us to feel inferior to other races. And so, they make you to hate us. They make you to pay attention to us as the most corrupt one, while they are honor our soil and taking all of our resources, stealing all of the resources. And it is the resources that's supposed to make us better. It is what God gave you. Wherever He put you is where He wants you to live and to prosper. But they come and tell us because of international best practices, this is how it should be. But then they say Liberia is one of the poorest countries in the world. Nevertheless, they come here to take the riches while we are deprived of taking our own riches because number one, you don't have the ability to. You don't have the money to. And the crazy part about it, some of us who could afford, who you gave the opportunity to serve in government, they make sure that they see to it that we also don't prosper. Because if we prosper, then our eyes will open, will turn around and make you prosper. But no. They tell you, as long as you are a government official, you must be barred for investing in your own country. When you invest, it is wrong. Then they put a word behind it to say conflict of interest. Oh, all of you are happy. It is conflict of interest. The man can't be senator, he can't be representative, he can't be a minister, he can't be deputy and invest. Okay. What you have done that you are happy over, you have isolated the major group of your country that could afford to invest. That when you call him and say, my wife is in the hospital or my man's sick, he may be able to turn to you. But the white man who have the opportunity, you don't have his number, you're not able to go to his house. So what they have done to us is, after keeping us poor, using the international best practice to keep us poor, then they come to some of us who could afford 2-3 men can join and do something. They say, no, don't do it. But then the poor white man comes to Liberia with little or nothing in his pocket. He uses our own banks, get money, and invest. In 2 years, he becomes a billionaire. So what I'm here to tell you today is for us to begin to think about ourselves. It's a playbook. It is something they have written over the years of colonialism. They gave us political freedom as to think, but it never can give us the economic freedom. And it's right from that economic freedom, you are targeted. Many of our leaders before us have died for economic liberations. They never want you to improve your livelihood. They never. First of all, how can someone who took you as slave and use you for over 300 years in the country, generation, every 100 years a generation, 3 generations of slavery, the ones that left for Africa never came back. Their children were the ones that they brought some of them back to Freetown. And then the mosquitoes were so many in Freetown, some of them ran away, some of them ran, left some back, and keep the Chevron Island, the Providence Island, yeah. How can someone that treated you for 300 years with hatred, how can they like you? How is that possible? But we are under the illusion that these people like us and they will bring the glory. They will open our country. They will develop it. So we're sitting down waiting. Amen. It will never come. What we need to do is to look at the facts. And this is what pissed me off because I serve as representative. 73 persons are representative. Look at 73,000 human beings. They don't listen. You're talking to 73 persons, and then you're talking to 73,000 where everybody making noise. Ideas are never shared. You come to the Senate that I have been looking at and say, okay, maybe the men are too plenty. Let me join in the Senate. And now that we don't know what the facts are, what we know is we are afraid. We don't want to be barred from going to America. I don't know when you go to America, what do you bring? Just tell your man I was in America. Oh, mama, what were you? Mama, I was in DC, man. You call it like that. Just say you billing. So the hard truth is what I want us to look at. What they have done, they have made sure that we never unite. Never should we unite. If you try to unite, they will remind you of something that another God did to you, or another tribe did, or another person was going to account it did. Then you remember it, and you're the man, and you said, the man might say, no. You know, people here, imagine, they Grammy have done something, but then you holding they get responsible for, you holding they man responsible because they get from the same tribe. But now they get, that the man who did it, they get it, but because they get our crew there, and they made our crew man, is all the crew boy, them I forget it. You know what crew boy. Never you Then what they do, they gave all leaders who will support their ideology. And anytime you see them working along with leaders and they are friendly, that means the country has been sold to them. Anytime you see them working with leaders and they are in the same bed, the country has been sold. That is strategy number 2. They will always make sure they keep us weak. Strategy number 3. They will make sure that we don't industrialize, we don't plan our own food that we can eat. We can, you see, I gave you one example of President Talbot. People, you know, Talbot died. Agenda John F. Kennedy in the country. He died at the time, you know, the sin fell on his head for his predecessors. But the vision that Mele Talbot had, I see it yet. His mind was just wide open. Total involvement for higher heights, from mat to mattress. There will be no imported rice in Liberia after 1980. Those were his words. And that was the key. No imported rice. All the estate houses you see now at Tobo, Matadi, or Cabral, the old road, Badnersville, New Georgia. Tobo said, I will take you from mat to mattresses. The place he made a mistake, but he said there will be no imported rice after 1980. When did he die? He didn't die because he was poor man. He died because he had hair on his shoulders. The rice business that they put themselves in Asia, around China there, Vietnam, Cambodia, India, just name them. They have made that place their rest farm to supply the world. Liberia alone contribute $200 million every year buying rice. You, when somebody feels sorry for you, the days when they told the boy, you don't rice, I better go buy my bag of rice. Yeah, you go buy a rice for it. I mean, if I can do it, I need a dry rice, I need a oil for the day. You are spending $200 million every year in Liberia for the rice. Do you think they will?
Speak on our speech. Speak.
Do you think they will allow you to play your own rice for self-sufficiency? I mean, you can't stop the man marching or 200 million, man. Not million. So the only way they can support you in agriculture here, you will plant palm, you will plant cocoa, you will plant coffee, you will plant the thing they want in the country. Is what they will allow you to plant and what they will support you to plant. Coconut, because that's what they want there. The one you want here, forget it, my man. You get it from the ship. The ship will bring it and you will buy it. What I'm trying to tell you is I am angry from my experience working with our people. And I decided to take this up single-handedly. I joined the first time when I was getting frisky. I decided to join Mill Junes for us to establish a party. So I established a party wanting Mill June because of its kind of idea at the time. You remember the central bank that everybody happy with today? That somebody do build up bank. But he didn't complete it. The same way the housing bank, we're on Broad Street there, they have not been completed and nobody won't build it. The same way Doe built the defense building that Eddie Johnson broke down to build the ministerial complex. Yeah. I don't know the only place in the whole country that building could be built by building, destroying one and then put another one there. I mean, if that defense was stay there, it would find a place for the ministerial, then that development there. But you hate the man so much, you want nothing that he did. So you break it down and put your own thing there. Making you to hit one another. Those rules, when the central bank wanted to be completed, we called the IMF. We asked them that we need money. You know, our chief of staff now, as a chief of staff, and then import them inside. Everywhere we go to the States for the meeting, IMF meeting, World Bank meeting, everywhere there. For the women, I mean. We went there, and then one compete at what central bank. No money. It's too expensive to do. Why waste of time? The bank barely have money to do that. Like the Jews told them that if their president can build it to the limit in which it has reached, it is possible to be completed. The central bank was completed by Dr. Jones with the Liberian people money. Not one word member. You see what self-initiated is about? When you determine to do something, President Tubman told them, he said it, look, check it up on YouTube. Find some Tubman speeches. He said, when I asked them to build the Capitol Hill, I wanted to build the executive mansion, build the Capitol building that we're in today, and build the Temple of Justice. They told me it was too expensive. That the man, Tubman talking to me. He said, but if it's expensive today, when will it be cheaper? Tubman, now every one of you condemning today, I told you, I will make you to hate your friend black man. If that were their man, they will be calling him just as they calling George Washington. Because Tubman was the one who opened this Monrovia you see today. He opened all of the countryside, all the roads you see today. Now Tubman, from Monrovia all the way to Hapom, Sino, the whole forest. They used to talk people on in Hammond, on the track. They found road from one place to another. Since this country was established, we built this country ourselves. We must be proud of it. They never want to help. And they always turn us against one another. Today, the central bank is built. When I formed the party we call MOVE, in the end, they said, my man, you big man in central bank, you cannot be the face of the party. They brought him, as well came here and did that for you to take the party over to them. The very thing that knows we're not listening to, in the end, they expelled him from the party for generator business. The generator, he is a board that is trying to get the youth to expel him from the party. Can you imagine expelling a man who formed this party? And this is one of the reasons that I'm fighting for independence. Because the things we'll be saying and the things we'll be pointing to, they will definitely go to people that you are depending on to expel you from their party or the party in which you have established. What am I trying to tell you? I went to the Unity Party after that. The Unity Party, as soon as I joined it, they made me the chairman for election and campaign. The chairman for election and campaign at the Unity Party. Senior executive position. When George Weah won the election, I told myself, but George Weah is a very poor man who came from nowhere, from the slum. He survived the same way many of us surviving, hustling on 1 or 2 men. Luckily, he got in football talent. That's where he got the first set of money from. So when the kind of man who been suffering over the years, I strongly believe he got a heart of human being to help the poor people. I told you the party to help with you. I'm going to someone who I know got the heart instead of being a bourgeoisie, sitting there thinking on how to enjoy life, that help the poor people. I didn't go there because I had just, as a matter of fact, we went to Sino when I was ready to be representative. He campaigned against me with a candidate. And the people of Sino made us to defeat here his candidate. At the same year, he was elected as president. So my going to him wasn't that I wanted position. I was elected the same day he was elected. So I didn't go for anything but to go in and help. How disappointing it came. You know, I'm not one of those, and that's why you see me wanting to tell you, never support anybody when you're not sure on what you're supporting. Our country, you see, is new to democracy. Since 1847, there were 2 groups of people, the mulatto people and the dark-skinned people, the slaves, those that came from America. The mulatto people were those people who the slave masters, after they say our black girls there, were not human beings, black men not human beings, but in the night when their wives are sleeping, then the slave master go and sleep with our black, who they say not human beings. Then they impregnate them, and in the end, they born the children. They born the children, they get a white man's skin, mulatto. So during those days, it was wrong for a black man or dark-skinned black man to learn how to read and write. If you learn how to read and write, as a matter of fact, if you're craving to learn how to read and write, you will be hanged. You will be killed for wanting to learn how to read and write. But the only people that taught how to read and write were the mulattoes because their blood were in that particular child. So what they did, they taught them when the black slaves bringing the cotton bags, then the mulatto's son or daughter will be writing how many cotton bags came today, who brought it, all the tallying information. So that's how they were learning how to read and write. So when they freed them and they came to Liberia, they came to Sierra Leone, Chevron Island, the mosquitoes there were killing them from malaria. The other group ran to Providence Island. The black that came with them were in majority, but the few mulattoes were the ones who what? Read and write. So the mulattoes formed their own political group because they could read and write. That had Joseph Jiggin, Robert, and Stephen Allen, Benson, all of them, so mulattoes. You got the black man who not read. How the hell can he run country? How the hell can he write constitution? How the world can he know what carving a flag is? So the real dark-skinned black man was called the cotton pickers, while the mulattoes were known as the brown boys. They were the ones that had IQ. So when they came to Liberia, they began to do the same thing. Only the mulattoes were in power. Until when him E.J. Raw, Edwin J. Raw. Edwin J. Raw was the first dark-skinned president. The very mulattoes who have been ruling this country all those years got envious. How was it that year and then other 1 year who come from nowhere from the cotton field, he can become president? That was the first military coup we had in this country. But they were not military, they were militias. Those militias ran after E.J. Raw, and that's how he was apprehended and he was killed. Then they wrote the book and said, E.J. Raw, you know, the first money that Raw borrowed, they borrowed from Great Britain. He said that money that E.J. Raw borrowed, he packed it in his pocket, and one ship was going somewhere, and he jumped in the water, he started swimming. You ever want to swim from shore to go to ship? because the black man. So there was no democracy. The mulatto ruled until EJ Raw. After EJ Raw, the black skin, dark skin were in majority, and then they took their change, they formed the one party too. So they put the mulatto on one side. There has been no democracy. The first real democracy happened just here during our own generation when Ellen Johnson and George Weah reigned. Because when Samuel Doe came, after they killed over, he and Johnson F. Doe said they were running for wedding. For election, how can they be? I mean, man, running against him. So there was no great democracy. And we were born by that time. I know some of you were not born during that time. But I was there. I saw it. To rig that election. After someone told our Charles Taylor the election, my man, Charles Taylor had greater than Bureau. How you go behind Charles Taylor territory to go campaign? Then they say I'm free and fair election. My man, you're not free and fair. All the people that were running were campaigning right over here. Go behind Taylor line, go campaign. You see, they whip you with someone. So true democracy just starting. So we don't understand it. I'm giving this illustration because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. We are not used to politics. We think we are, but we're just beginning because it's in our generation. That is why making sound decisions is so difficult. Many of us affiliate because we want to be seen as. Many of us become part because we just want to be seen as. Maybe the girl you running behind, she part of, you know, the party, you buy the same t-shirt too, you're walking shoulder, then you look at her, my girl, what you say, man? But if you actually look at principles, what is the different manifest of Unity Party? What's the different manifest of CDC? What is the different manifest of other political parties that make you to want to be part? Nobody can tell you. The government say rescue. We'll rescue you, we'll rescue you. Nobody tell you within 5 years, before I leave, this is what I must do for you. So you're not voting for anybody because of their principles. You're only voting for them because of their affiliations. You chosen who to. But I want you to begin to change the concept. Listen to them, know what they are going to do. Don't care about who. I proved it in Sino. When I went to Sino to run as representative, there was a lot of saying. To run for senator, it was more than crazy. But now the people of Sino know you don't just vote for anybody because maybe you and them speak the same dialect, or you don't just vote for anybody because the person is a family. Before that one was being done in Sino. But over the short period of time, it have changed. You can be anyone, but as long as you have a manifesto that the people can see your actual work, then the people of Sino will vote for you. That is what happening there. You who are the intellectuals must stop being fooled by crowd. Begin to question. You voted for Weah. What did he do? That's what you should ask for. We voted for Boycott. What did he do? That's the kind of question you ask. How disappointed it was for me to leave Unity Party to join the CDC. I left the Unity Party being in power for all those years, or even though I wasn't with them, I joined them right after I left the Central Bank. I was 9 years or so. But they were comfortable because anyhow already ruled this country for 12 years. So all of them know what government is. All of them are satisfied in the various positions. You got a lot of smart guys there in there who know how to make things happen. Play around the mind, but not to do the right thing. We are now, oh, my man, yeah, we are, my man from what time he said before we should be good time there. Gibraltar, that man from Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a swampy place where it rains, the whole place full of water, mosquitoes. That kind of man, you know what it means. You know, you understand the struggle, you understand the suffering. In less than 1 year, when we made the man president, what did he do? He built 44 condominium for himself in less than a year. You know, but many of you still happy to support him. You call yourself intellectuals. Happy. It's not about who want to be. It's about who that particular person is. Joseph Parker, we say, oh, the man, oh, that point in there. We put in there. He will make hard decisions. He's sitting out there, the white man still stealing our resources. Every 3 cents on a dollar. 3 cents on your resources on a dollar.
Yeah.
B Mountain, last year alone, they took over, according to them, $800 million worth of gold from Liberia. B Mountain. Your entire country budget. Your entire country budget. What they were fighting for, 800 million, certain time will come to a shortfall. We're going to be taking your house to make it work. We're going to be cutting some things there off in our one budget. But one company giving you over your budget. Still we are poor. Still we are poor. You see, so what I am tired with is for us not to talk the fact. And then Joseph Brocker scared to talk. You old, very old. You still afraid of death?
Please, you're not gonna speak. Please, you're not speak.
The fact here is, until we find leaders that can hold the bull by its horn, look in the cow face and say, this is enough. There will be nothing changing here. We will be the same. The only thing we do here is to fight to pay government employees on time. And as long as the more end you pay government employees, everybody quiet and satisfied. But take that man from that job one more time. He poor the same way he was. As a matter of fact, he in that job, but he's still poor. He's waiting for that paycheck before he can do anything. Even before the paycheck, can you feel the credit in? And we all pretend that things are okay. But you know, I like my parents because I don't care how they're suffering. You always notice that they get a pride. I made a be real. I know how when they say real, I know. You don't got to tell it to me. I lived in Newtown for so long in the lagoon. There was an old lady who in the night she used to fry the pepper color. By 6:30 when it's getting dark like that, the person would bring a whole pot and start to sell. And I used to be by that old lady. Many days I get money, but the longer I stay with her, the more I will get some of that pepper color. So as intellectuals, you start making people fool us. It's time for us to tell them the fact, whether they like it or not. Whether they like it or not, your life will never change. And the part that makes me angry, you say we must not invest into our country. When you go to America, the senators and the congressmen, all of you got smartphones. Google it. Go on your Google and ask, can a senator or a congressman in the United States, can he invest in the United States? Ask. Google will tell you, say, oh, yes. It won't just say yes. It will say, oh, yes. So why you come to make us to make law that we cannot invest, but then their millionaires are investing and making more money, but then they still keep it on. They're so wicked to the extent they keep you poor, then they keep us poor. Now, move Duncan for here now. In one month. If you say, my car is retired boss, I won't be able to face it. I was senator for 9 years. And then one journalist called me that was, and I came from out of the country last night. So soon I read my phone right. I know him. My man, I'm a journalist. It is that. My man, Papa, my 2 children in high school, that's what I call you for. So I said, you see. I said, you calling me. I said, but you guys are journalists, but I don't hear you one day fighting, talking. The only thing you want to talk about is this senator did this. The other senator are fooling man. The other senator corrupt. The other one here, he was this. The other, I never say, journalism is something of research and fighting on behalf, finding all the facts. Our own facts is how to bring people down, how to bring leaders down, how to castigate. You say the salary will make, which is $6,500. You say it's too plenty. You get sense to say too plenty or not? How you look at me making $6,500 a month and you say it's too plenty? It's too plenty when you know how many persons stay to my door on a Saturday to ask for help, people that I've never seen in my life.
No, but the man from somebody get that most around lawmakers tell you.
You tell me, say you vest. You got a government board, 40,000 United States dollar car for one lawmaker. My man, that 40,000, that foolish little man, they got him on behalf. You not vest because the cheapest brand you carry in Liberia is only sold for the least 40,000. You not vest though. You not vest because ArcelorMittal, the iron ore that can face the car, they're taking it from your cheap, little or nothing from you. You benefiting nothing from it, but when they carry it and cheese it into a car and bring one car for 40,000, then you vest because no, you must be an intellectual. Forget about supporting blindly for followers. You can be an intellectual or follower. You cannot be an intellectual and be following. People should follow you.
That's it. Speak.
But we waste our time cursing our leaders, condemning our leaders, and not facing the real fact. The fact is, they are stealing from our broad day land while our eyes wide open, and we're not made enough to stop it. That is the fact. Yeah, in my county, they have given a hummingbird $18 billion worth of gold in Bokonjile. They have signed an agreement to give it to hummingbird for 15 years, and the clause in there to continue for another 15 years.
Jesus.
$18 billion. But go and see what will happen to the people in Bokonjile. If one man from Bokonjile, life ever changed for that $18 billion, then man, you need money back. Because you never in Cape Mice, a clear example. Look, there are countries in the world that are changing the way we're doing things, and their lives are being changed. Many countries in the world. Many.
Taking the Christian,
They call it economic liberation. Vietnam have realized that they cannot continue doing it. And the part that hurts me, we are the first republic in Africa. Our in Nigeria, if you guys want to go talk something to the latest people in Nigeria on what we can do to be able to have records on everybody, statistics. And one of the guys said something, he said, even though Nigeria has been racing to one of the superpowers now in Africa, but we shouldn't forget that Liberia has been in the vanguard of the freedom of all African countries. Liberia has been in the vanguard to make sure that she fought for all countries that got their freedom in this country as a diplomatic book to those political fighters to try and come and fight yourself in the world so people can't go at them. We were into everybody, but everybody has racing, but we're still the same. The only people that were running competition with Africa and Sierra Leone. Vietnam, from 1993 to 2013, Vietnam in 20 years, they have reduced the poverty from 50% to 3% after the embrace liberation, economic liberation. Yeah. China, I can tell you, just from 2000 to 2020, in 20 years, they reduced the poverty now from 49% to 0.6%. Economic liberation, making sure the thing out for you. You just give it to somebody because you like the person. They are all Rwanda, maybe China, then 5, Vietnam, then 5, Rwanda, and Africa. from 1995 to 2015. From 75%, they have reduced it to 30%. Rwanda. Ghana, if Rwanda say far. Yeah. Ghana, from 1991 to 2012, 21 years, Ghana have reduced the poverty from 52% to 13%. But then look at our statistics. Yeah, then look at ours. We hate ourselves because of the color of our skin. We don't like, I said, a Nigerian man came here, went to buy our all black. He bought the all black for $200,000. He sold the all black for $200 million. And on top of that, he still has a 7% share in the damn black. But I remember one time, at that time, I was not in politics. I like the radio, so I used to listen. I remember Senator Snow. One time I wanted to buy all black. Yeah, I was listening to the radio. Everybody was condemning him. Look at Snow. Something's wrong with I want. You won't buy all black. I didn't ever swear. That corruption. The man said that he won't buy black. But then you get a Nigerian man who right now you even know his name. You don't got number to him. You know all family lineage. Nothing. But you were happy to get a man out black. He got a $200, then he took $200 million after he racked with the third party and still demand to be packed.
Sayo.
Not just.
If you are getting a foreigner, you are not corrupt. Sayo.
Exactly. We don't want ourselves to improve. So all of us in the hole, we are crab. The crab scenario. One crab won't go, the other crab falling him down. Then we happy in poverty. But when the next man comes and enjoying it, we just look at him, yeah, not bad, man. I can't be there, I can't be there. Yeah, we can marry them. But your own Liberian man, they say the man corrupt. So I have come to tell you today, I mean, there will be no reason for us to be afraid of sanctions. So, the life that God has given me now, even if you carry me now today, trust me, I'm pleased. The reason I'm pleased is because my father died when he was in his 30s. Look at the face and I tell you your face. God has blessed me long enough. And the day he decided to carry me, I was smart. On a no threat. I tell you one story. When the people putting our dealers on a sanction, all of you are happy. All they put my girl on a sanction. All they put what they name Nukwe on a sanction. All they put, but you never know the reason why. You only assume in your brain. You are the intellect. That's why I came to you today. So we can really play with the intellectualism. They put your leaders under sanction without any explanation, but you consume it. You are happy. You don't know why. Let's take the issue of Nukwe. Emmanuel Nukwe, senator from Magibi. Nukwe was speaker of the House. Everybody knows that the speaker is in charge of the national budget. And if somebody is corrupt, and from that budget, there will be only corruption. And from there, they're supposed to start but the mayor was representative, he was speaker, he handled the country budget all the years. Nobody's putting on a sanction. When they put the leader on a sanction, begin to think, wow. The man went to the Senate, they didn't put him on a sanction. All of a sudden, he didn't come on sanction. I won't give an example of other people then because if I give too many examples, they'll be thinking whether I'm getting my information from somebody working among them. But when Nukwe decided to work with Jetty for them to establish a rubber production plant to transform rubber that Firestone has into something practical, instead of putting chemical on it, acid water on it, and shape it, Jetty decided to do something different. All of a sudden, you put his own sanction. But none of you here will ever question why a certain senator is on a sanction. Because if it is based on corruption, the documents should be shown. You can't say somebody is bad, and you can't prove. We know we just like, I want to say that, man, we are gullible. Anything that comes, we just grab it, hold it. We don't question. We don't look behind. Somebody can say, Duncan, I roll. Of course I made a roll. You ask the person, why you think he's a roll? What did he do? Can you prove it? When he was there, did he do this? Is there any other report that had found him guilty of corruption? No. But you are intellect. So you don't give me reason. One time, I think about 7, 8, or 9, 10 of them came to visit the Senate. So unbelievably, they called me in. My man, I'm not part of the committee. I'm going to go and say, man, come here. You white boys say here from the American embassy. Come go sit down. I say, okay, good. And when I sat down there, they're explaining. Then in the process of explaining, somebody from among us were telling them that they need to go more into cracking down on corruption in Liberia. Then when the white guy said that is why we have put the sanction in place and we're trying to figure out another mechanism. So then I asked him, I said, so are you saying the sanction that is being placed on our political leaders in this country is based on corruption? Because you gave your sanction without any explanation. So are you now telling the Senate that it is because of corruption? And if it is because of corruption, can you not tell the government which part of this corruption was this person part of? How do they free themselves for such a scandal hanging over their head? You know what he told me? Well, you can go to the United States and go through the court system and you can exonerate yourself. I said, well, how can he go to exonerate himself in your court system when he's already barred? When you're already barred from going there. As a matter of fact, you can't leave to go to America now. You understand? The first thing. So how? Well, someone else can represent him. Can you imagine? You in Liberia, but then you hire their lawyer. And you know how much they charge per hour? The least is $2,000 per hour. Say, Duncan said, for a lawyer to go represent you, they talk about the man is a senator in Liberia. You know they're not 2,000. They will charge you more than 2,000 per hour. Who got that money to go hire a lawyer? First of all, you're not even there. So you see the inconsistency. But all of you were happy when they put a one sanction. Then you said yes. Oh, the other one. Because they play with your mind on only corruption. The only thing in this country is corruption. So I asked, who is not corrupt? The woman that cooked for me is corrupt. I gave her small than I bring out to go in the market. She cutting it. So, but the woman, yeah, when you go back here, he will call it. Human being by nature is corrupt. The only thing we do is how to minimize it. That's political science 101. The very American are talking about corruption. What did Donald Trump do in a few days? He dissolved, you say, suspended it for time indefinite based on what? Corruption. He said they're using that agency to fund out the money. So fund out billions and billions of dollars. How can we know that these strategies these boys are doing is to keep all of us poor? For elected official down to the old lady who can't even wake up in the morning straight to eat. We must be careful. While they're still under our sword, stealing away from us. And then Joseph Becker is doing nothing and afraid for him. People to get friends with him in America, into Europe. So he still sell our resources. We are with the energy he had. I'm so disappointed in him with the fact of knowing. After passing through hard time, you are intellect. Who can't study for society? What are you giving from? No, you lie. Now one man he came from America, so he know what society is. Yeah, so gentlemen, look, let me just say thank you. There's so much to talk about. So much to talk about. But this is just something that I want to tease your brain on. So when you go home and you're lying by yourself, you can reflect. If you see any part in it that you think that lie, it will not be my first time coming to you. When I come back, have the statistics, the statistics COD, that when you talk about it, then I can prove it to you that it is true. But I'm telling you, as long as we continue to follow the same road, our lives will never change. Look at the so-called forests. Where they say they're conserving the forest, the other service, the other forest, the national park, the other one, that the Sabo National Park. I went there infuriated, but people thank you for voting me. That national park has been keeping it from the time Ellen Johnson was here. Over the national park, nothing changed. The road still muddy. The park to go in there, they're walking. The people who own their park still living in the same mud houses. As a matter of fact, where they used to make a farm was maybe 30, 45 minutes walk from the village. But now, nobody dare go in the park to cut bush again, so they're walking 2 hours to go far away from that park. And who they park for? Have you asked yourself, what are we benefiting from our national park? Wherefore? When they have cut all their trees down, building the country, then they tell us we're not cut ours down. Yeah. As a matter of fact, another one I asked, he said, I think within in the next 50 years, the roads will be paved. In the next, yes. If I lie, God should never bless. The conversation, he slept in my house in Sino. He slept in my house in Sino. Because there was no good hotel there. So they asked me, I went there. He slept in my house and had a conversation on my dining table. He told me what they're thinking, that maybe in the next 50 years. Can you imagine? Anyway, so gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
What a yes. Gentlemen, they have a quiet. We still have our guests here. We promise that we're going to protect our guests, and we intend to do so. We are listening keenly to the senator. He spoke from voice to the soul. He took over our conscience. He spoke to our consciousness. So because of time, we are going to take 3 comments or questions. So please do not say, please, gentlemen out there, we beg you. We are going to entertain 3 questions or comments, and then the honorable member will respond to that, and then we'll take leave of him. So we want to be gender balanced. If we have a female here who wants to make a comment or question, so we are rather than a female first and take two gentlemen. But if that's not the case, now let's start with the brother, the Jewish prophet, followed by Abaske Kamara.
Thank you, Honorable. We are suffering in this country because we lack knowledge, no innovation, no leader for us. Like you speaking the mind that you're speaking today, I think it's important that you have a general crusade. They play small. Maybe we can mobilize the entire Joba to put them on the field. That we will have a crusade. I'm not asking questions. I'm saying something to why he educating us with.
Please respect the speaker. We say comments or questions, so you can make a comment.
So, I mean, like I said, you made me happy because we are suffering because the Chinese men will come here and go in our butchers and take all of our resources. They don't give us 3% out of $100. And that's what makes us suffer. For some of you who are our leaders, you people are not acting well because you sat there and passed this bill and agree with the kind of conception where people will give us 3% royalty, or maybe a board that is 90,000, and then we get 30,000 into our account. So we will hold you liable. It would have not been better to be there rather than being there and doing nothing for us. We are suffering. This nation is suffering. We have the resources, and many of you go out there and say Liberia is rich. All of us, we are saying we are rich, but all of us poor. People are dying. I was researching you. My phone went on. You were advocating in Sano, in your region, for illicit minors. You did it. So I was going through it, but then my phone went off. That is a problem. But to what extent are we benefiting? When you people sitting, when how you call the other people that in the sorry, brother,
time.
They go money companies, King George are taking billions of dollars and we have nothing. Absolutely, from Basel, when you go in Yekepa, I mean, they look the trash, money. Lango used to do better, but then the Indian people who when you go to Mumbai, I've been there before. You see them, so that there are people here, I will just say it that way. They come here and we suffering all of them. And you people say that you're not doing anything.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ali, your point went.
Thank you. So I encourage you to do.
I'll let the record now. Comrade Abbas, K. Kamara to go ahead for questions. 1 minute, comments 2 minutes. So I'll be observing the time. We can keep our guests here.
Thank you very much, Honorable Echi, for giving the opportunity to ask my question. Abbas K. Kamara first. Thank you very much, political activist. Honorable, thank you very much for the knowledge that you have shared with us. Are you being a senator for our country, and most of the concession agreements have been signed from the House of Senate before it comes down to the lower house? And I want to ask you, all of those good concessions agreements that have been signed on, and you be member of the Senate, what have been your own thing when it comes to lobbying with your colleagues at the House of Senate to review some of those bogus concession agreements that have no impact on the Liberian people? And what are some of, based on your number one cardinal responsibility, what are some of your logistic power that you are used in order to offer a bill that will make Liberian people to benefit from our own country?
Thank you. Time. So I would like to, lastly, I'm going to take we have our guest here from CEO, so we'll take his comment or question, then we'll give the honorable man a chance to respond to all of those questions or comments. Thank you.
And so, thank you, Honorable Senator. I'm Terry Jiwe. I hail from Grand Cretan. You said it well. I see Liberian, our attitude look like car washers. The reason why I say our attitude look like car washers, they may willing to buy soap and water to wash people's car, but he never willing to buy soap and water to take that. Most of the car washers don't take that, but they're willing to buy soap. What do I mean by this? We want good things to happen, but we are not willing to go through the process or processes for the good things to happen. Another way I see Liberian attitude, I see Liberian men say, only men that is in hell, or the men that are in hell, pray for the men in hell want to work. The men in hell, when you pray for the men in hell want to work to succeed. I thought in my mind, the men that is in hell want to be praying for the men in hell want to succeed. What do I mean by this? Many of us that are suffering, we celebrate the people that enjoy it. Just as he stated, one Indian male, one Chinese male can here, and put one sharp right here, and Liberian male get the same quality ability, but we prefer that Indian male or Chinese man. This is why I mean by the men need help when you pray for the Liberian male one Indian want to succeed. Thank you so much, and it is our prayer and hope that this message will resonate well, and some more are following you, and we are waiting to join the revelation. Thank you so much.
All right, let me say thanks to all of you for your questions, your comments. Now we give the senator the chance to respond.
Thank you, gentlemen. I like what you said, brother, concerning the Joe Biden said. The Joe Bar Crusade. I like that. You know, we are guilty. But you know, when somebody is taking drugs and can never admit that he's a drug addict, that person will never change. But when he can admit that he's a drug addict and the drugs that he's taking is destroying him, then he is ready to change. In the House of Representatives and the House of Senate, it's a democratic flow. Democratic flow. On that flow is majority rule. Always majority rule. Even when the speaker noise was going up around here, some people say, oh, it's bad to do this. Majority did blah, blah, blah. On the floor, there is nothing bad to do as long as it's democratic. Then where the Constitution protects you. Once you're on that floor, you can say anything. You will never be held liable. So you can shout, you can make your noise on the floor. The only thing you can do, you can vote for it. And once you vote for it, that's it. That's your record. But the majority will always carry the day. And it's easier for the majority to carry the day. As long as the president wants it, everybody wants it. The president from the executive is not distant from the legislature. If you notice, at all times, it is the president party that must have the pro tem and must have the speaker. We are not used to the fact to know that when they are in there together, nothing good happens. But we always say, that vote for the speaker man for that party, so we and the executive can be moving correctly. That vote for the pro tem from that party, the ruling party, so that everything we want can go smooth. Opposition leaders, Senate have an opposition pro tem. The Senate has, the representative has an opposition speaker. Then you will find or take that thing. You'll be able to talk and be able to make things happen. But we still haven't reached that part of the politics yet. Everybody wants to be in favor of the president. Everybody, now for what I'm talking to you about here, who you think will be my friend in the government?
Nobody.
So nobody wants to be my friend. But everybody wants to be friendly with somebody. Why? Because say in my county, if I want public works to do work there for me, who I will talk to, the public works minister. But hear me, I'm telling them that they are not doing what they're supposed to do. Do you think when I talk to the public works minister, you want to listen to me? So everybody else don't want to be bold to say what the fact is. Because they want to be in the bed with the executive. So that's the problem we face as senators and representatives. You talk about ArcelorMittal. ArcelorMittal, first of all, these few days they brought something they call the concentrator machine. Who the guy talk about ArcelorMittal? Yeah, you again. ArcelorMittal, why do you think they build a concentrator? What is a concentrator machine? They say it's a $1.something billion. But what it is, and what benefit it is to the Bureau, that plant, they didn't build it for your interest. They built it for two main reasons. One, they build it because when they mine the iron ore, they take the dike and the iron ore together from the mountain, put it directly on the tree, and that tree takes it straight to the ship, and they put that dike and iron ore mix on the ship. The ship is charging them per ton. How heavy it is. So for an example, if the ship is charging them $500 per ton, and you put it in dye and iron ore mix, don't you think you're losing? Because the ship not going to say they bundle the ton of dye mix with ore, so let me get you discount. Hell no. They're charging you for how heavy it is. So they have been losing over the years. So they want to make sure they separate the iron ore from the dye. So if the load they put in there is a ton of ore, it will be the ton of a real ore. They will not be paying carrying dye. You understand our first part? That's the first reason. The second reason is the place they carry the dye and the iron ore. The people in the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency on that side, is giving their help. Because when you have washed the iron ore and separate the dye from the iron ore, where do you put the dye? Where? They're not in Liberia where you just dump the dye anywhere. So they are facing environmental problem in their country. So they are forced to build a concentrator machine here. I can tell you, in 2-3 years, from now, 4 years, if the people of Nima County don't start crying because their water is being polluted from the dye that is shifting from the iron ore and pumping it in the creek and in the rivers, don't never call me Duncan. That's how evil they are. But then everyone goes to celebrate with them. They build a concentrator machine. The president go there. The pro-tem go there. Everybody goes stand up behind them. So what's the benefit coming to us? Job employment, my foot. So that's the situation there. Concession agreement. Come here. Watch the one that coming happy again. Where ArcelorMittal will come to renew. Other companies will come to renew their concession. You will know that definitely I'm not part of it and I will be fighting against it, but will I succeed? The question will be no. I will be like John the Baptist making noise in the wilderness. Because democracy will not allow me to succeed. When the vote comes, the majority will carry the day. The only person that can change this country is the president of this country. The head of the snake directs the rest of the body of the snake. Don't fool yourself. I told you, those history I was giving you, I'm not saying it because I want to talk. I told you we are not used to democracy. I gave you the history when we started practicing politics. So in as much as we senator and representative, we're still not used to the actual fact of politics. So nobody can stay on the ground. Maybe another 50 years from now, before some of you or your children will understand the real politics based on experience, then they start making right decisions. Until then, only the president, only with the love in his heart can make things turn around. Because if you tell the legislatures, I don't want a concession agreement, first of all, who sent it to the legislature? Who sends it? After they have taken all those time, carving it, feeling satisfied, then they bring it to us to sign. When they bring it to us to sign, they don't just chunk it and go sit down. They follow the paper. They follow the paper. They lobby. They kind of talk to each and every one, and they know they can convince. So when the concession comes, 2 in the morning, you see somebody at the door. I mean, the president wanted to take over to do the work out. And I bring coach on that too. Man, you can't stay in front of the president when you go, the president wants this thing. They brought it. They don't want it to fail. So they don't just bring it and put it on the potent desk. They bring it and they follow it. So why should it come in the first place from there? Why should 3% be a royalty on your goal? How? So how do you benefit when everything we make go on salary? Everything we make is a recurrence. Recurrence means it must happen. You got to pay LEC, you got to buy a car, you got to pay salary, you got to pay international dues, the UN due, the ECOWAS due, AU due, all the different dues. Your salary, your government budget, when they scrutinize, when the recurrence move for that, you barely got 300 million left. All the 800 million, well, all the things that are supposed to be happening every year, move from there. You better get 300 million. What do you do with 300 million? So you 300 million, plenty. But for a government that runs the whole country, 300 million is like a drop of water in the American Ocean. That's why our life will never change. That's why there's no policy. That's why no better thing. I was in Uganda the other day, they were cooking, giving the children food in the schools, just for the children to go to school. The government subsidizing food for children to eat. Things are tough in the house, that the child want to go to school so they can eat. So what do we do in Liberia? What do we do? So when do we begin to talk? On what platform do you stand to talk? Then the last man talked about, look, you know my head sometimes. Yeah, suffering people can support and celebrate people who succeed in themselves. They don't wish for it, you know. My man, I just want to say thank you, my man. Let me just find somebody for y'all and move on. Yeah. The way forward is I have decided to establish a movement. And that movement, we call it our movement. We call it our movement. This movement, I'm asking all of you, to turn your back to those that you need to turn your back on and facing the sun to where the sun is coming from. That is the only way the revolution will come. But if you just want to wear a t-shirt and form the big crowd, and when they become, they don't care about you, which one of them haven't you seen? You saw we are, you try him, you are trying boycott, just to look at your resources and say, stop stealing from us. They can't do it. Who will stop it? So how you will benefit? Only God. So we're waiting for God to come. So in the meeting, here is my number. I want you to take this number down. Those are here. For those that care, the number is 0774. I call it again, 0774 93 01 94. 0774 93